Fabrizio Romano confirms that Chelsea are awaiting the final answer from Raphinha. He's been told today that Dzeko has held direct talks with Chelsea and they are scheduled tomorrow for a further meeting. Of course, there's an agreement with Leeds United. Barca and Arsenal will try until the end. The reminder is set that Barca, of course, agreed personal terms with Dzeko 4 months ago. There are further reports here shared by Simon Phillips that Raphinha will not make a decision until after negotiations between Barcelona and Leeds are over. Chelsea are leading the race. There's two big hijack deals going on at the moment in football. Raphinha to Chelsea. And of course, there is the big news surrounding Manchester United, Arsenal, and Lisandro Martinez. £40 million apiece, supposedly being put out there. Some papers, some people claiming that he would prefer a move to Manchester United. Others, that Arsenal want to close the deal off quickly. Of course, we've got the update from Ben Jacobs coming as well. Both are kind of in the balance, really. And there's many, many moving parts. The facts are, it's on at Barca for Raphinha. It's on at Arsenal. Chelsea are leading and it's on. It's on for Arsenal with Martinez. And it's pretty much on for Man United as well if you read the majority of the stories out there. We're going to delve into it in a little bit more detail. Where are these players going to end up? Two massive deals. Everybody involved, it seems. Let's go. This transfer window so far for me has been epic. And as I mentioned there just before the intro, the way these deals are panning out are perfect because they are a real live, almost blow-by-blow account of how the fluidity and the ever-changing direction that the transfer window throws itself in. It's been kind of funny, really, because I fell out of an Arsenal account that got really offended that I put out a tweet saying that Gabriel Jesus to Tottenham was on. When I say on, I mean active, possible, could happen, inquiries being made. It's an active deal, as it were. The same account has been sharing Ben Jacobs' views from the Football Terrace. It's cool. Ben Jacobs confirmed that Arsenal beats Tottenham to Gabriel Jesus. Therefore, why were you attacking me for saying it's on? This is why I like this example. This is why I like what's happening here. I want to start off with Raphinha. As we know with Raphinha, Fabrizio Romano here has claimed that Chelsea are awaiting an answer. Matt Laura stated this evening that the majority of the personal terms are agreed. And I'm going to give you my interpretation of that. And also what I've been told by two other journalists, that the terms are fine for Raphinha. The money that he's being offered by Chelsea is acceptable. The squad status, as in first team regular, whatever. You know, in computer games, they're first team regular, squad member, backup. They don't quite, I don't think they explain it in that kind of basic terms, but he's happy with the squad status, happy with the salary, likes the idea of going to London, really excited about the prospect of playing for Chelsea. But football doesn't always work how fans imagine it. He isn't sitting there with a 100% sort of fandom-based desire to go to one particular club. Barcelona have always been his preferred choice. He would love to be a Barcelona player, but he wouldn't mind. He'd be very happy being a Chelsea player, and he'd be very happy being an Arsenal player. Certain sections of each fan base really struggle with this concept. What do you mean? Well, I don't want him then if he doesn't want us by 110%. If you actually delve through it and go through the majority of transfers in history, big transfers especially for top talented players, this is normal. The difference now is that we get updates blow by blow, minute by minute, day by day across social media. So we see the peaks and the troughs, the ebb and the flow. I think what Ben Jacobs said tonight, though, is very, very important. And go back and watch the Done Deal show from earlier. Barcelona get Raphinha if they match Chelsea's bid. I think most people would agree with that. But as it stands right now, the vast majority of credible journalists do not believe that that Barcelona have the money to be able to compete with Chelsea. Now, with Arsenal, it's a very different kettle of fish. Arsenal probably have the money. Actually, in fact, they definitely have the money to pay that 65 million pounds. Then you get down to where does he want to be the most, Chelsea or Arsenal? Arsenal were leading this race 110%. Now, Chelsea are, because they've had the bid accepted by Leeds. Raphinha is happy to join both. Happy to join both. Which one he picks, though, is a very different situation indeed. Where do you think Raphinha ends up, people? I want your thoughts. I want your feelings. Up next, Lisandro Martinez, Arsenal or Man United? Where's he going? It's as far as you understand surrounding the future of Lisandro Martinez from Ajax.
Well, I think that with Lisandro Martinez, Manchester United are not anywhere near as advanced as Arsenal, not just because Arsenal are preparing a third bid, and I do understand that to be true, but there's actually no credible evidence from Manchester United sources that they are all in the race for Martinez. And if they sign Malacio, I'm not sure that Martinez will be somebody, should De Jong come in, that they can either afford or that they will try and hijack. And Arsenal fans are obviously going to be a little bit nervous because even though they've done a great bit of business in Gabriel Jesus, and let's not forget they fought off rivals, including Tottenham, who had Champions League football to offer him. But there will be a feeling if they lose out on Raphinha and then they lose out on Martinez of what is Edu doing, and is there a hesitancy in the approach? And by the time you get to third bids, it can be for two reasons. One, because the selling club are playing hardball, and I do think this is the case with Ajax. And two, potentially because the club trying to buy are trying to squeeze every penny and they're over-negotiating, and that sluggishness allows other suitors to come in. And at the moment, there's still no indication that Arsenal are going to get hijacked by Manchester United. If anything, I think United would prefer somebody like Pau Torres as opposed to Lisandro Martinez.
And that's what Ben Jacobs had to say earlier on this evening. But of course, that's his opinion based on the sources he has. And Ben Jacobs is highly credible, knows a lot of people in the game of football, and I'm listening to what he's got to say. But we wouldn't be the football terrorists if we just took one opinion and run with it. Whether you're, Gooners will love hearing that. But for me, it's a case of this being a little bit more open. You've, of course, got the reports earlier on this afternoon from TalkSport that Man United are plotting a £40 million bid. That was very much backed up by everybody over at the Times. Paul Hurst at the Times said that Man United will move on to Lisandro Martinez once they complete the deal for Tyrell Malacio. There's other reports that have come out here, as you can see, from Tom McDermott. This was the first journalist to say Frankie de Jong has agreed terms and or happy to join Manchester United. He believes that Lisandro Martinez would prefer a move to United over Arsenal. But of course, that doesn't necessarily mean he's going to go to Man United if there is no bid. There was a further report here from The Telegraph from Sanjay J. Dean, shared by Eduardo Haig, that Arsenal want to close the deal for Martinez soon, and their new bid is worth 35, rising to 40 with add-ons. Of course, the same journalist also shared that Ten Hag is understood to be pushing Manchester United to compete with Arsenal for Lisandro Martinez. So there are so many varying reports here. What's going to happen? Now, a week ago, we did videos talking about Chelsea getting involved with Raphinha, and a lot of people played it down. No, I don't think so. I think we'll do X, Y, or Z first. A week ago, nobody thought that Dembele was going to stay at Barcelona. Now he could be. The world changes very, 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 very quickly. Maybe Man United do prefer Pau Torres to Lisandro Martinez. But what if Pau Torres picks up an injury tomorrow, next week? Walking his dog, falls over and ruptures a ligament in his knee. That changes Man United's scenario. And I'm just throwing out like a bit of a warped example, but just to say that the world changes very, very quickly. If Dembele was leaving Barca and Chelsea were happy and confident in signing him, they may not have gone in for Raphinha, meaning Arsenal were still leading that race. I believe that if Man United go in, and if Man United offer him a good deal, good package, and a good squad status, I believe he picks Manchester United over Arsenal. But I believe Arsenal are leading the race, not just because they're acting first, but I believe they're offering, at this particular moment in time, they are offering Lisandro Martinez a better overall deal. And I'm not talking financially. I'm talking where and how he's going to be utilized within the first team squad. This matters hugely to a lot of football players. Martinez is open to joining Arsenal. Personal terms will be no problem. He's also open to joining Man United. He wants to come to the Premier League. And I think the one thing that both Man United and Arsenal fans have got to accept here, whoever wins this battle, I mean, some people don't even think Man United are in this battle. And the irony in it is, if you're an Arsenal fan and you're listening to what Ben Jacobs is saying, then there's no banter for Man United if you get him, because he's just basically said, well, they're not even really in for him. So you're not really winning anything. If you want to reject their hijacking him, you can't celebrate getting him instead of. It's a really weird scenario for football fans, because sometimes I don't know whether they want to admit that the player's open to joining a rival, or they just want to be the front runner all by themselves. But if you're the front runner all by yourselves, then nobody's getting rejected. Therefore, you can't banter. Which of the two things do you want? Football fans, they really fluctuate between the two. But for me, reading between the lines, looking at the vast majority of stories, I believe Man United are interested. I believe the deal is on for Man United. It's active and it is possible. And Man United they're looking at it. But Arsenal will just further advance in exactly the same way that Ben Jacobs said. Now, Man United may accelerate in exactly the same way Chelsea have done with Raphinha. And the world could change overnight. If Bay is sold, if it looks like we're going to be getting rid of AWB and suddenly there's an extra 30, 40 million pounds available, that could happen. Remember, the De Jong deal, it's only going to cost £11.3 million year one. It's being paid in installments. So even if there is only £100 million, only 11 or so million is being taken out for the De Jong deal year one. So there is a large amount of cash still remaining. But I do want your thoughts and I want your feelings on where do you think the players are going to end up. For me right now, based on everything I've heard, I'm backing Ben Jacobs 110% on Raphinha. I don't believe Barca and Leeds will get the deal done at this moment in time. Therefore, Chelsea will secure that signature. As of now, I believe if Chelsea and Arsenal offer the same level of package, he picks Chelsea. The only way Arsenal get him over Chelsea is if they pay him 200 grand a week. If they increase the wages exponentially above what Chelsea have done. When it comes to Lisandro and Man United and Arsenal, I believe Arsenal, the hard work they've done, the fact that both clubs are in very similar positions, and I think Arsenal are going to offer him a better squad status than Manchester United. I think he picks Arsenal over United. I don't even know if we're going to make a bid as of now when you listen to what Ben Jacobs and a few others have said. But it's fluid. It's quick. It can change. I want your thoughts. I want your feelings, people. Smash that like and share button. See you all again.